Regular session, Mayor and City Council meeting, 6 p.m., Wednesday, January 5th, 2022, City Hall Complex. I call this meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Madam Clerk, can you please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, is there anybody called to the public? None? Okay, thank you. So I'm going to move from number 4, and I'm going to go to 5 on the events, and then we'll go to 6, and then we'll go back to 4. So we'll start with events, and that'll be employee recognition. Adan Garcia, Nogales Police Department. Chief Bermudez. Good evening, Chief.
Yes, Mr. Massey. I'm honored today to present. There you go. Okay, good evening, everybody. Thank you, Mayor Garino, Council, Mr. Kissinger, Mr. Massey. I'm proud to present today a letter of commendation to one of our employees for an outstanding job that he did in helping apprehend a armed robber that robbed our Chase Bank here on Thanksgiving Eve. It's not very often that we get armed robberies in our community, but exactly a week later to that day, we came up with him thanks to the tenacity of Parking Control Officer Dan Garcia. So I'm going to present him with this letter of commendation. And it says, to Parking Control Dan Garcia, from Herf Bermudez, Chief of Police, January 5th, 2022, reference letter of commendation. On Thursday, December 2nd, 2021, as you were driving on Holcomb Drive, you noticed an individual that matched the description of the suspect who had robbed the Chase Bank a week before. You then called officers into your location, where it was discovered that the individual that you reported was indeed the person wanted for the bank robbery. Your alertness and attention to detail assisted our officers in taking a dangerous individual off the streets of Nogales, which brought a sigh of relief to our entire community, along with bringing the individual to justice. Parking Control Officer Dan Garcia, your actions on that day were nothing short of stupendous. Therefore, let it be known that today, Wednesday, January 5th, 2022, I present you this letter of commendation for your actions above and beyond the call of duty.
Congratulations, my friend. Good job. I'm proud of you.
You see that?
Congratulations.
Good job.
Sigue adelante, cuídate mucho, amigo. Chief, thank you very much, Chief. Number 6, presentation by Santa Cruz County Animal Control on potential future improvements to the animal shelter.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
so we have Lieutenant Peña with the Animal Control that will be doing a presentation to Mayor and
Yes.
Council on their future improvements.
Perfect. And yeah, how you doing?
Mayor, City Council members, everybody here, good. Happy New Year to everybody. I'm going to be passing, I only brought 6, so hopefully we can share here. I don't know how many.
I can make copies of it if you want.
Aquí está bien. We can share it right here.
I have made so you can take them home.
Está bien esto, más suave. 21 kennels, 24. Yeah, great.
I think he's only used to dealing with like 3.
Alrighty, Jennifer wasn't able to attend today, so I'll be giving you a brief explanation of what we've been thinking of. This is not set in stone. It started back when our budget talks started, and they asked me what we needed. Our first thing was that I said was a new facility. Obviously, I know how much it costs, to build a brand new facility and all the plans that have to go through that. Throughout the state of Arizona and the state association, I've been involved with agencies that have, built their facility brand new. Sierra Vista, they spent $10 million on it. It's a really nice facility. Right now, Gila County just opened their brand new facility. So here in Santa Cruz County, in the city of Nogales, we have a shelter here. It was built back in 1988. And right now, it needs improvements. So we're just starting to talk about, how much it's going to take to get a brand new facility for the residents of, Santa Cruz County here in the city of Nogales too. To me, it's very important to make sure that the community has a really nice shelter for our animals. They deserve that too. And our plans, I guess this whole plan yet to date has not been shown or presented to the Board of Supervisors. We're just starting and planning this, and what would it take for us to do this? How much it'll cost? We still don't know. One of our options was and as you can see in the plans, is the old juvenile detention on Hohokam Drive. Another option could have been, right where our facility is, and we still don't. Part of that facility stands on county property. The surroundings is city of Nogales. I'm sure we can get together and
Yes.
and join forces to be able to have something done if this can't be done. So at this time, this facility is everything that we can need and more. It'll be more than double our size that we have right now with parking areas. We will have an area where people can go in and adopt and bring their animals, or just them meet the animals, like a playground area. It's going to have lobbies. It's going to have everything that we need. Kennels, a cat room. Cat room should be separate from where the dogs are at. Right now, we have them front, right next to each other. We'll have a vet office that maybe, we'll have a vet part-time there in our facility that we don't have right now. I think it's time that, we have, we start our planning, because we've outgrown this facility a long time ago. And it's really much needed. And hopefully, before I retire, that I can see this facility up and running. And if you have any questions, I'm here to answer them. Again, this has not yet been presented to the board. It's just starting in its plans, and it's not a sure thing, but this facility is going to have an indoor-outdoor area where the animals are going to be, can be kept inside and outside during the daytime. It's got a total of 45 kennels for adoptions, 6 kennels for quarantine. It's got the cat room, and the designs is real nice to what we need. And obviously, if it gets done, it'll be great. And I'm sure that we can join forces again. The community needs this, and it's time. I'm sure whoever started to or built this shelter that we have right now in '88 was or had good expectations or good intentions of building a nice facility, but it's to the standards that we have today. It's missing a lot, and it needs a lot of improvements, and it can't be done unless we either tear down that facility and rebuild there, or find someplace else.
Well, actually, Officer Pena, I've spoken with Mr. Kissinger about this in length, at least for the past year, about working together with the county to get to improve the facility. And because the work you guys do is great, but you need more. You need more help, especially on a facility, especially when you're going to have more animals and I used to have a dog for 19 years, and he's no longer with us, but I do have a lot of cats, and Esther looks at me. She doesn't want to go to my house because of the cats, and that's the reason I have the cats there, so these guys won't visit me. Nobody visits you when you have cats. So if you notice, everybody's allergic to a cat. You wanna live comfortable? Get a cat. So one thing I will tell you right now is that the conversation I've had with Mr. Kissinger, and we do partner financially, just so you know, we do partner financially with the county. The money that we partner with them is for operations. Mr. Kissinger, am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, for operations. So now, I know a facility like this would cost a lot of money, but it's long overdue. And one thing I will tell you is that even if you can't do it where the old juvenile facility's at, and you want to do something on that city property where you're located at, we have equipment. We have equipment to level that whole hill down. As in kind, we have personnel that are also experienced in concrete and framing and stuff like that we could partner also in kind. But we should get ready to have discussions with the county, with you and the supervisors about the investment on something like this. And I don't think we should wait too long on this. I think it's something that we should start working on. And actually today we're going to have a presentation on our future dog park. I know you heard about it.
Yes.
The one we want to do in the entrance of Meadow Hills. So there's things we want to do also for our pets and it's long overdue in the community. So I want to thank you for bringing this. Actually when they told me you were coming in, I didn't know you were going to bring us this. I thought you were just going to tell us, hey, we're doing a good job. And that I was going to tell you.
That too, we're doing a great job.
That I was going to say, we don't have to, we know very well you guys are doing a good job. But to see this plan, this is great. I mean, this is unbelievable. I don't know if we could help in any way of finding out how much something like this would cost, if we could do it in partnership. Who did the plans for you? This company?
I believe it's...
Yeah, but was there a cost on this or was just a design on this?
I can tell you that there's a link where you can follow and see the progress of this plan.
Uh-huh.
And it shows it's ClearGov. I have the link if you guys want. And I believe it says there that it cost us $21,000 for all this. Because they had to go in and, into the facility and check everything. And that's what the cost says here. So, yeah, that's the county has a program through this that they were able to do all that.
But has this been presented to the supervisors or it hasn't been presented to them?
No, not yet.
So you would have to get an agreement with them if you could use that facility to remodel it for this, or would this be a brand new building?
No, it would have. It's going to be that same building, but it's going to be remodeled.
Okay, remodeled.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. This is great. I love this. This is
Yes, and I would talk to the county personnel, Jennifer and the board, and get them and let them know what working together obviously is going to be the best thing to do for the community and for our animals. And I'm sure that they'll say yes, and whatever which way we go, either this facility or
the new one
built where we're at. It's a brand new facility with what we need up to nowadays.
And actually, you need it just by I know the work you do and your staff. Actually, you do need it this size for
Yes.
Santa Cruz County.
Back, from 1988, the county has grown.
Yeah.
And what we want in the future is to, not to say we had to euthanize 10 dogs because there was no room.
No.
And right now, that's the issue.
No.
We don't have kennels available, and we have people bringing in animals. We just don't know
Yeah.
what to do. We work a lot with rescues from Tucson that help us, find homes for these animals. And I can tell you that our live release rate right now could be close to 80%. So each year it gets better because we work a lot with the rescues. But we want to say, we got enough room to keep all these animals here. We don't want to euthanize one.
Yes.
And that's our goal. And that's why I said, I hope I can see this happen before I retire.
Yeah.
I know it takes, money and years and all that for planning, but I got 6 years, so let's work together.
No, you know what? If we work together, and I'm glad you're here in the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
If we work together, the city and the county, I'm sure we can start having meetings. Actually, Mr. Kissinger and the county manager, start with them, and then we can have meetings together, the council and the supervisors, to see if we can come up with something on this.
That'd be a great idea, yes.
Yeah, I think it's something that we need to address and start working on it, as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Ms. Montero.
Thank you. I like the collaboration that's going to take place, hopefully. I wanted to ask you, the $21,000 was spent just for the plans?
As far as I know, yes.
As far as you can know. Yeah.
No,
How much is something like this, do you think? I know you don't know a set amount, but something like this would cost what? $500,000?
Oh, no.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, what I'm thinking of rebuilding and doing this facility to our needs, I say it's got to be over $5 million.
It's really off.
Yes. I haven't sat down with John Hayes. He's the one that has this program in, and he's the one that started talking to me and helped me start this. Obviously, we can look for grants. We can look for, donations.
Yes.
We already have rescues that have said, we will help you when you start your new facility to, donate. So we will work hard. Once we get the okay and everything is a go, we will work very hard to, accomplish this, in a timely manner.
We can get it done in a partnership, the city and the county. I know how hard you work, and I'm so glad to see something like this. The beginning of the year. This is great.
I didn't want to say that, I don't want to say that I'm really old, but I started working here in 1988, a month after the shelter opened. And it's going to be 34 years old. So
Before that, you kept the dogs at your house?
yeah, it's
No, I remember when they first built that a while back. But it's great. It's good news, and I want to thank you very much for bringing this presentation to us,
you're welcome.
and for the community to know that we're going in the right direction for our pets,
Yes.
and to be able, like you said, adopt animals and have and not euthanize the animals.
Yes.
As much.
That's my main goal.
Yes.
We come a long way, and I want to make sure that it's every animal leaves that we receive. So
Perfect.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, go ahead.
So I can tell you, I spoke this morning with Jennifer before we talked, and Jennifer wanted to be here tonight during Lieutenant Peña's presentation. She's behind him on getting this done. Unfortunately, she's feeling under the weather today, and she wasn't able to. She didn't go to work, so she didn't come to the meeting either. But I hope she's watching on YouTube. If not, I'll fill her in on the council's desire. But she's fully in support of this.
Right now, Mr. Bonilla is negotiating with some of the supervisors on land swapping.
Okay.
So we have a negotiator there that we have already ready for one of the supervisors. Him and that supervisor are buddies. So muy amiguitos. So we got hopes of having a good year in partnership with the county.
Thank you.
And this will be a beginning.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Peña.
You're welcome.
Go ahead.
Mr. Peña.
Oh.
Hey, how are you, buddy?
Hi.
Hey, just one question. With this plan, is there a continuation plan on the existing facility? What would you do with it?
At this time, no, nothing has been brought up, in terms of that.
Can it continue work as partial sources for the animal shelter?
It could, yeah, definitely. If,
Where you do some, not everything's done over here, and continue to do some.
yeah, definitely it can. We can come up with some plans, for that, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because, it'd be also a waste to have that facility just abandoned.
Yeah.
So, let's try to think of what can be done. This is great. I like it. But I would like to see the remaining facility being used as, something else for the animals. What can it be used for so it won't go to waste and be abandoned.
Yeah, definitely,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we can definitely work something out on that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, B, you ready for that, John?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, and while we do that presentation, I'll get ready for the next item by
Okay, perfect.
getting this ready. So.
B, presentation by VFW District 7, Voice of Democracy and Patriots Pen winners. And I'm going to ask Councilman Diaz to please do me the honor of doing this for us, Mr. Councilman.
Thank you, Mayor. And I'm really honored to be here because VFW District 7 winners, Voice of Democracy and Patriots Pen, are from here in the Nogales area. And at the BFW, we take education very, very seriously. That's why we have all these scholarships and programs for the kids to participate in and become good citizens. And with that being said, I'd like to introduce Mr. Glenn Holman, District 7 Commander for BFW, and he'll be doing the presentations. So.
Thank you, sir. First of all, I want to thank Mayor Carino and the council, and also the community as a whole for supporting this, because the VFW started essay competitions with our youth in 1946. By my calculations, this year that puts it at about 76 years of doing this, and it's an outstanding program that we don't give enough traction to and we don't tell people enough about. So it's an honor for me to be here to be able to present these awards to two outstanding young Santa Cruz students who excelled and beat out a bunch of other people. The first award is Patriots Pen, which is our middle school award. And they write an essay, and then over 270 students turned in essays to the Santa Cruz VFW in 2066 here in Nogales. That was just one post. The district has to then compile those winners and decide who it is. So the student is Francisco Baez III, out of here out of Santa Cruz, and I'd like him to come up now. I think he's right here, and I have a citation that I'm going to read for him, and then he is going to regale us with his essay. I don't know if he knows that yet. He does now. So the Veterans of Foreign Wars Youth Essay Certificate of Merit presented to Francisco Baez Jr. in recognition of excellence in the District 7 VFW Arizona's Patriots Pen competition You have been awarded the Sierra Vista Flowers First Place Award, which is $300. And so at this time, and in case you didn't bring it because you didn't know, I've got it for you. You can borrow my glasses if you need to, but the floor is yours. Thank you.
How can we be good Americans? There are many ways to do so. When you do something, do you do it to benefit your country or to benefit you? Our founding fathers made the U.S. free and independent. They were people and we are people. And people can change America for the better. When people vote, do they vote just to participate, or do you vote to help that person change America? What you do may help or hurt America. Some people have political power and may or may not use it for good. The government is what changes this country, and the government is made up of people. We are the people. We need to do what benefits our country. There are many problems with the USA, and we, the people, need to fix them. Another way to be American is to protect our country. Voting for a president can and will change this country. When we vote, do we vote just to say we voted, or do we vote for someone we put our trust in? Our president has a lot to do with how our country is run, and we choose the president. We should vote for a president that we believe will make changes for the better. The USA is made up of people, and the government is made up of people. You and I are people. People can change the USA. We need to protect our country, protect our rights, and whatever else matters to us. We can serve in our military and protect, or serve in the government and fight for what's right. Being a good American can be done in many different ways. These are only some of the ways to be a good American. Benefiting the country, participating, and standing up for what's right is how we can be good Americans. America was a great country and still can be today with the help of good Americans.
That's yours. You might want to, don't lose the envelope in the back. That's the other one. So the other thing I didn't mention is both of these students, there we go. Is that better? Both of these students are now competing at the state level. This weekend at the VFW State Midwinter Conference, they'll compete against all the other district winners for the state prize. We have had two very successful students come out of Santa Cruz County and Apache Junction in the last 4 years. So we had the national winner out of Nogales 3 years ago, Daniel Rodriguez. He won the national $5,000 prize 3 years ago. 2 years ago, Apache Junction student won second place in this Patriots Pen contest. So very, very well represented by the state of Arizona and especially down here in Santa Cruz County. The second award is our high school competition, essay competition, which is our Voice of Democracy. In this competition, it's slightly different from the essay because in addition to the essay, they also have to orate and put it down so that it can be heard by the judges. And so this creates a different level of competition and stress, maybe, and allows them to be heard, their voice, not just in written word. So at this time, I would like to call up Daniel Yanez, who is a past winner. And that's another great thing about this competition is unless you graduate high school and get too old, you can keep competing every year. So I like to see the students come back. And so his citation reads, Veterans of Foreign Wars of the United States, Voice of Democracy Certificate of Merit is presented to Daniel Yanez in recognition of excellence in the District 7 VFW Arizona Voice of Democracy Essay Competition. You are awarded the Captain Glenn W. Homan, United States Navy Retired First Place Award, which is $500. My father is the benefactor for this award. That's not me. So I will, do you have a copy or do you? I got you. All right. So I will turn the floor over to Daniel and then we'll take a photo.
Ask yourself, what America is to you. Is it just America, or is it the United States of America? Though many argue the United States is one of the few nations we can call home without fearing for our lives ending over a bomb or getting caught into a crossfire on a daily basis. In America, we have freedoms. The choices to do what we must are not only right for our country, but for the upcoming generation of Americans that are on the way. We are ruled by a government that does not run the country alone. They need the help of the people. Therefore, showing America is a democratic country. Democracy is a Greek terminology for the people. The people rule. It gives the people under that specific government the right to choose the governing officials that will represent them in the legislature and take part in the nation's decisions, giving them a voice for it. Though the government has lost a lot of value to the people it is governing, that does not mean there is no more hope for it to improve and keep fulfilling the purposes the Founding Fathers implemented for it, the day they signed the Declaration of Independence in 1776. So ask yourself this next. Where do we go from here? These past 2 years, America has been in a depressive state, for the people in it have had their share in the controversy against the government, making us question if America really is what it should be leading us to. Making us question if America really is what it should be leading us to the end of one path to encounter two paths. We are yet unsure of what they mean. Referring to Dr. Martin Luther King's novel, Where Do We Go From Here? Chaos or Community, published in 1967, we are introduced to the idea of being brought together as one nation or staying separated. Quoted, "There is nothing except a tragic death wish to prevent us from recording our priorities so that the pursuit of peace will take precedence over the pursuit of war. There is nothing to keep us from remodeling a recalcitrant status quo with brosed hands until we have fashioned it into a brotherhood." Meaning we have been pursuing the acceptance of society and dominance, we have forgotten what the Founding Fathers wanted for America. We have been so focused on being the alpha wolf and getting into conflicts that do not concern us that we have not remembered America is the reason many other countries have colonized. After the American Revolution, many other countries, such as Mexico, decided to begin their revolution and overthrow the dictatorship of Diaz at the time. We inspired France to reform their government into a new one after we have shown it could be done. We feel so entitled to a democratically governed nation, we forget what democracy is. Jefferson and the other founding fathers who did not agree with the ideas of democracy warned us about it. Quoted by Jefferson, "A democracy is nothing more than a mob rule where 51% of the people take the rights of the other 49. He himself explained this would happen after Shays' rebellion. He foresaw the dilemma America would have that will go into conflict with its own citizens. He said there would be tyranny when the people fear the government, but liberty when the government fears the people and knows its place within the society that makes up America. Many have argued this past year the reformation of a government would be exactly what America needs. But what will America go to? A dictatorship being something America tried their best to avoid during World War II? A communist country is one of the things America is fighting against in the present? Although democracy has its flaws, it also has what no other political views have. That is the voice. Under the First Amendment granted to us, we are given the freedom of speech, granting us the ability to have a democratic government, allowing the people to have a voice, because behind the flaws of democracy, the government isn't to fully blame for the problems in America. The people have responsibility for it as well. In order to fix the government's flaws, we first must learn to choose wisely for ourselves, and not what we think we will get judged by, the population of society. To stop thinking of what other people will think of you and start thinking of what you believe is right. To choose a stable economy over a whole country entering an inflation crisis, that unemployment goes up above the expected 4 or 5%. Choosing peace over chaos. The lives of fellow Americans and not the deaths of soldiers. Community events over riots. The American government does not make us or America. We make America. Democracy gives us the freedom to choose what is good and bad for her. And now instead of going towards the lane of chaos and making one side of her separate from the other, let us all come together in harmony and become united as our founding fathers intended America to be. Our freedom was fought against the British monarchs, so let us take advantage and show the world America can rise again from the dark place it has fallen. To show the world who we are, because to other countries we are the United States of America, land of the free and home of the brave. So now where will we lead the future Americans to? A land of freedom and logic, or a land of chaos and manipulation by the media or those around us who do not agree?
Councilman Diaz, thank you very much, sir.
No, thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much. Commander, thank you.
Okay, we're going to go with number 4 now, financial monthly report. Is that what?
Mr. Mayor, can we do Pam first, and then we can go to
Okay,
Pam Darver with the city manager search, because I have her.
yes, let's do it.
Thank you, Mr.
Let's do that one first.
Appreciate it.
That'll be discussion, discussion item number 7A, discussion and direction of city manager search.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we have Pam Darver that was with you, what was it, a couple of months ago or a month? It seems like a month ago or so, that was going to do her city manager search, and
Yes.
she's here tonight to give you an update on it.
All right, thank you,
Mr.
John.
Mayor. Pam?
Thank you, John.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. As you know, we have been recruiting for a city manager, and since the time we last spoke, we had reposted, we have done additional outreach. We had 6 new candidates, but unfortunately, none of them really meet your minimum qualifications. Because the holidays are now over, we are reposting again this week. We've changed the ad text a bit again. And we have a associate recruiter that we've just hired to put solely on the outreach for this recruitment. And we are now spreading our outreach to additional states. While we have advertised nationwide, our follow-up had been in Arizona, Texas, etc. We are now going to look in Louisiana, Mississippi, some of the other states that have a lower cost of living, and that their pay scales are in line to what Nogales is. And we are hoping that this will, and especially hopefully now that people, we hope, are looking again, that this will warrant additional candidates coming into the pool. We know that there's a desire, obviously, it would be for someone from Arizona, but we have not been able to attract new candidates since the first go-round in late summer, early fall. Our anticipation would be that we would check in a couple of weeks with Mr. Kissinger to see where we are after doing that additional outreach, and hopefully be able to gain additional candidates. And so we're hoping that by the end of this month that the council can be interviewing candidates once again.
Okay, go ahead, Councilman.
You mentioned that you had 6 candidates that don't meet the basic requirements. Are they from Arizona?
That's a good question. I believe that they were from all over, but I will get that information to Mr. Kissinger.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Hello. Can you tell me a little bit about what, when you talk about don't meet the basic requirements, tell me a little bit about what you mean and what basic requirements entail?
Sure. Well, we want people to have had municipal or governmental backgrounds, and none of the candidates that applied have government experience. Now, we can certainly look at individuals from the private sector if you'd like us to, but typically that has not been the case. For most organizations, they want someone who has had experience and so can come in and hit the ground running and understand what they're doing, not someone who needs to come in and really learn the job. And so that's what I mean by not meeting the minimum qualifications. We've looked at people who have had federal backgrounds, et cetera, and would certainly do that for this recruitment. But the individuals who had applied were all from private sector backgrounds, and many of them not in a CEO type of role or an assistant CEO type of role.
Go ahead.
More questions. So you're still requiring a bachelor's degree, right? Is that a minimal requirement? Okay, that's good. Also, have you looked into retired CEOs, retired, retired people that have a vast of experience? Have you looked into that area? There's a lot of people that are retired and have a wealth of knowledge, not necessarily in government, but they do in other areas. CEO is a great example. A retired general, for example. It seems that we're going to have to move towards that avenue and kind of explore options.
I appreciate that feedback, and I do think that we should do some advertising, which we haven't done yet, and I think that's a great suggestion, that we reach out to some of the retired officer groups for the military, because that can be another place to look. And there are some groups like that. We just don't typically work with them, but I know they are out there, and that could be another avenue for us. And in addition to that, in our LinkedIn searching, I can make sure that our, sourcers are looking for retirees as well.
Also, may I? Also, it's obvious we're having a hard time. People are not interested in applying. I'm hopeful, though, that we get this going. Have you also looked into, people are graduating. We've got young attorneys that can't find a job, and right now we have an attorney running the city. I think that that's another avenue we can look into. Having been here for a year now, people that think outside the box and have different types of careers, they can bring a lot to municipality. I think that we should look into those avenues.
Well, we can spread advertising to other areas that don't just target city managers and assistant city managers. We could certainly look at some of the city attorney groups, etc.
Thank you.
I guess that's it. Is there anybody else want to say
Other
anything?
questions for?
Just, Mayor, where are you guys advertising? How do we spread the word, or, is it, can we announce it here in Nogales? I haven't seen being announced besides our website, but where else are you announcing it?
So it's been posted on ICMA, the Arizona League of Cities and Towns, government jobs. Let me look at the list I was sending in to have them repost. Public CEO, the local government Hispanic network. I am now want it posted on the Texas Municipal League, the Utah, New Mexico, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Oklahoma.
How about the Nogales International? We might have people that are here qualified in Nogales.
Okay. And the ads from the last posting had run out in December, so we're going to repost again.
And just as a reminder, may I?
Go ahead.
Just a recap here. What's the pay scale again? I know we talked a little bit about that last time.
130 to 150.
Thank you.
John, I guess we're okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pam.
Thank you.
Ms. Barron, I looked it up. It's on our webpage, and I'm sure the Nogales International President today will probably write a story on it. Get it out there.
She's right there.
Por favor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to, unless John tells me to go somewhere else, we'll go to the financial monthly report. Am I okay, John?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Just log off of here.
John will change it on me, Mr. Massey. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
We want to hear some good numbers, okay?
I sure hope so, because there's no bad numbers yet.
Oh.
So in front of you, you have the numbers for November, the end of November. And so when we hit November for the 5th month, we should be right around 41.65% of our revenue and or our expenditures. So if you would look at your first graph, which is Table A, that is your general fund. And at this point, we have brought in $9,618,272 in revenue, which is 43%. And overall, for the general fund, our expenditures are at $10,347,370, which is at 37%. So even though our revenues are less than our expenditures for the general fund, our expenditures are lower at this point than what is expected. Now, if you go on to Table B, that is your sales tax. Your sales tax for November was $1,025,064. At this point, that was $112,562 more than November of last year. And we are sitting at $581,898 more at this point for the whole year. So having that border open in November did help. So, yes, absolutely. If you move on to Table C, this is the breakdown of your general fund departments. The ones that are highlighted are still the ones that are above the 41.65%. Overall, they're getting closer to where they should be. So a lot of the beginning of the year expenditures that rose, quite a few of them up above the amounts, they're all starting to level out a little bit better. If you move on to Table D, that is your Herf Fund. It's your streets and your Herf and your overweight. At this point, we have collected $1,023,101 in Herf revenue and $108,459 in overweight fees revenue. And for the expenditures, we have in Herf, it's $1,223,018. And our overweight fees expenditures is $643,156. Both of those being quite a bit below our 41.65%. And I know, Mr. Maldonado, you had asked about our overweight fees compared to last year. At this point, we are higher than we were last year. Because I know you asked last month.
Thank you.
If you move on to Table E, that is our sewer fund. So far in sewer, we have collected $1,463,494. And our expenditures are at $1,206,104. So the expenditures are a little high. Basically goes back to that WIFA loan that we paid in July. If you move on to Table F, it's our water fund. We have collected $1,610,221, and we have expended out $2,380,785. Again, quite a bit. It's a WIFA loan. If you move on to Table G, that's our sanitation. In the sanitation fund, we have collected $1,187,692 and expended out $934,971. Are there any questions on that portion of the report?
I have one question.
Sure.
WIFA, how long is that going to be taking place?
The WIFA loans
Yeah.
go on, how long are our WIFA loans for? Are they 50?
Repayment schedule?
Mm-hmm. They go to 36?
I'm not sure, Rick. I'd have to get back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll have to get back to you on that.
Because we
Councilman.
technically have the 3 loans, one from 2015 and the 2 new ones, but I'll get you
Yeah.
those numbers.
Thank you.
Yes.
I have a question.
I think it's 20 years,
This
though.
meeting, Ms. Walker said that we had a contingency of $6,365,370. And on the first page here, where it says general fund summary, you show $8,020,370. So are we talking about the same contingency?
It is the same. That $8 million number contains the money that's still for the Chase Bank. So what she did was pull it out so that you could see what it physically looks like. This number here still shows it in there because it's still technically sitting there. So she just separated it for you.
All right, thank you.
So the final portion of the report is the back 2 pages that you have, which is the water and the sewer accounts. We have 423 accounts that are currently on contracts. Totals about $194,873. It is up from last month, but we have put a couple of our very large accounts that are due to us that they haven't been paying. We've put them on contracts and they're now paying. So we should start to see those numbers go down some next month. We do have 14 sewer contracts that have failed to pay, that have been turned over to legal to start the final necessary magic that they do. Next comes the legal subpoenas. We were at 15 until the other day, now we're at 14, so that does take off one of those, and that one was paid in full. Are there any questions on the water and sewer accounts?
Mr. Massey, I'm going to recommend something, sir, for you and for Gene. On the apartments, that are under the Valle Verde water issue.
Yes.
I recommend that you have staff contact the landlords and sit down with the landlords and find out how they plan to pay their delinquents.
Okay.
Cost on sewer and sanitation. Because just so you know, they change tenants every so often. And when the tenant goes, the city never complies or stays with the previous tenant to collect that money. And then the next tenant that comes in, even if he opens an account or not opens an account, that old account is attached to that tenant.
Right,
We can't continue having that.
right.
We have to, as a city, work with the landlords. And I'm sure the landlords will work with you. Or otherwise, we're always going to be in the same.
Right.
You know, it's if somebody has a home, well, you can always follow that person because they have a home. If they don't pay their sewer or they don't pay their sanitation, they'll always be there at that home. We can attach a lien to them. Because we talked about liens years ago. We should be doing that too.
We are.
Okay.
That's part of the legal that
You know,
we're doing
because if
right
you come back and say, you know, we're going to give you another contract, well, how many contracts are you going to get them to pay? If they haven't paid it, they haven't paid it, and they will never pay it. And so it's easy to go after with somebody that has a home. Okay? But apartment complexes are not that easy.
now. Right.
Okay? They move. And once they move, they're gone.
Yes.
You'll never get, if they lived there for 5 years and they didn't pay you for 5 years, you just lost 5 years of sewer and sanitation. And then most likely, the next guy that rents it is going to be attached to that bill. And I can guarantee you that right now, that it's probably happening as we speak.
Oh, I'm sure it is, yes.
Okay? So let's look, Mr. Massey, let's look into that because I think we'll never get, and you know, and also if there's homes, you know, in all this area, we need to contact the owners of those homes and get them to pay.
Right.
Okay? We can't allow that to happen because there's some, well, you show some here that it's unbelievable. Unbelievable the amount they owe.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, so they don't see it, but on your second page, we did highlight, because last month it was brought up, businesses. I am happy to say that we had 3 more businesses on here until Monday morning, and they came in and made their payments and removed themselves from our list.
Yes.
So we're getting a little bit better when it comes to those businesses. And all of the businesses on your list know that they don't have time to waste. They know that if they're one day past their contract date, their services get shut off. And then the entire amount is due. There's no further contracts for them. So we've already gone through that counseling, I guess you can say, with those business owners. So they're hopefully going to turn around here real quick this month.
Well, you know, on another recommendation on the Valle Verde issue, we can go, you don't just have to go and say, you know, we're going to approach it with a lien. You can also send them to collection.
Right. But our collection is going to be filing in magistrate court. So we will be doing some
Yes.
civil actions here really soon, Mayor.
Yeah, because if you send them to collection, you know, it might show that we are really, that it's business.
Right.
You know, this is a business that we have. It's not, you know, let's conduct the enterprise funds as a business.
I agree.
You know, we give them the service, pay for it.
Right, right. And our first set of the subpoenas for the court, I believe, are going out next week.
That sounds right.
And it's between 10 and 15.
My deputy is hot on it, Mayor.
Yes.
Oh, great.
Got a really great deputy.
Yeah.
She's going to be filing all these actions,
Oh, thank you.
probably by early next week.
Yes.
Good, Mr. Messick. That's good to hear. Go ahead, Vice
I have
Mayor.
a question. On these business in particular, I'm going to say the name, I'm sorry, I don't think it's
Okay, no,
confidential.
that's fine.
Nogales Truck Stop. They owe $22,500, and they're not willing to pay. Have the service been turned off?
It's sewer, so we can't.
Oh, is the sewer?
But they are on our list for
Right.
next
They're
week.
going to be one of the first people we bring into court.
Because
Yes.
come on, that's a business.
Yes.
They're not able to pay that?
I have a question.
Sure.
How did you, like, I'm seeing here Tacos and Tarros, Mr. C's. These are businesses that during the pandemic received a lot of help from the government. And some of them went like $10,000 or $15,000. And plus, these businesses are successful businesses. Why is it, or how did you come to this number of this person paying $160.75 monthly, when I know for a fact that they're not in desperate need?
Right.
I know it for a fact. What is funny about this is their balance. But maybe I think it was like a month ago. They painted their establishment, and I'm sure that probably cost them $4 or $5 grand. But they can't pay the water bill.
Right.
And then they're paying, and then on top of it, $160.75 a month, which
So let me just explain how that number came about. So if you see at the bottom, it says all contracts are written for 12 months. So what they did is whatever their balance was, when they said, you know what, can we put it on a contract so you don't shut my water off? They took that balance, divided by 12. Now they have the option of paying more, which I have gladly said, please pay more. But that is the minimum that we can take based off of the contract that was written with council approval quite a few years ago. So that's the base number. We do have a few that are paying over that so that they can pay it off faster. And a lot of their bills went up while I wasn't here, and now that I'm here, we're trying to take care of it, so.
And plus, we had a moratorium on shutting off water.
Yeah.
For a year, yes,
yeah. But my point is, why do we have to get to that point?
right.
When
should have
we
gotten to
see
this point.
the citizens here see that these are successful businesses. It's not like if you can't drive, because this business is right by Walmart.
Right.
It's not like you can drive by on a Friday or a Saturday and look to your left and say, "Oh my goodness, it's empty, it's full."
It is.
They can afford a ban.
Yep.
Several bans.
And I
But
totally agree with you.
That's what I find just very interesting, that they can't pay their water bill. Everything else is important except paying their water bill.
And I can tell you that 3 of them on here, 2 of them had their water shut off. I told them to go out and shut their water off, and by gosh, they came in and, please, turn it back on. And one of them, we called and told them that you have 20 minutes to get here or we're shutting your water off, and they came in. So,
Oh, miracle. What gee whiz.
so we're trying, and now that I have a little bit more of a pull over our revenue, and I can tell them, let's do this, and they let me, they're like, call them. So I call them. It's been kind of exciting.
Yeah.
It has been.
Yeah, could I, I'm going to ask you a favor.
Sure.
For next month's report, can you do a comparison from one year to the other?
Sure, I'm sure I can.
February to February.
Sure.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so on the 423 accounts that you have here, that you state here, so are those homeowners?
It's a combination of homes and businesses, or no, I'm sorry, it's homes, businesses, and our sewer accounts. So 90 of those 423 are the sewer or trash accounts that are under the Valle Verde water that we can't shut off, and that's the ones that have all gone to legal, that we're starting the liens and the legal processing. All the rest of them are either homes or businesses. Most of them are homes. They have come in and said, I know I owe you 2 months and I know you're going to shut my water off tomorrow. I can pay you next week. Great, but you know what? We have to put you on a contract. If not, your water goes off tomorrow.
So when you put them on a contract, their water won't
Their water will not go off.
And just one last question. So you're being equitable with everyone, regardless if they're employees or
Everybody.
Me out there.
I'll have them shut yours off too.
Yeah, I'm sure my husband pays it every month. So you're being equitable.
Yes.
Regardless if they're employees or not. Or,
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Go ahead, Councilman.
Yes, when you work out a payment plan, do you take into consideration the current bill, the balance and the current bill?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So they have to pay their monthly to catch up, plus that month's worth of consumption.
Yes.
So they have to pay their bill plus the extra. And if they miss it by one day, I'm impressed by Jean. We've got somebody now who's really going after this. I've seen her actually out there directing our water people to shut off a meter. She's on the field, and I thought that was impressive, especially on some of these large accounts. Says, turn it off now, come see me. So I commend you on that, but yeah, if they're a day late, Jean holds them accountable.
Yeah, if I could, just one more thing. I know it's a very hard job to do, because I'm sure it's very difficult to tell someone you're going to turn their water off.
It is.
Especially, they have kids or elderly or whatever have you, regardless. And so, I know it's tough for you.
It is, and that's why we try to work with them.
Yeah, good.
And on the contracts, it does state that if they fail the contract, we will not do a secondary contract. And then we added to the bottom that under certain circumstances, if we have to do a second contract, it has to be approved by the city manager first. We just won't, let's add a second or a third. It has to go by the city manager before the water department can approve a secondary one.
And by signature.
And by signature. Now, it requires the customer signature, the person within the water department or in revenue, it requires the revenue manager, and it requires myself to make a contract happen.
That's great.
Go ahead, Council.
Are you charging a reconnection fees for those people that don't come in?
Oh, yes.
Okay, that's included in the payment plan? All right.
We've collected quite a bit of reconnection fees the last few months.
This one I'm seeing on Charritos on Elm Street. Is this amount that got to 11,000? Is this a few years that they didn't pay?
Yes. He
How
hasn't
many
paid
years?
since 2019. And then there was a dispute on his bill on the usage, and that is why for a while he wasn't paid. So the owner and his father have come in now three times now to speak with me. And the son seems to be taking control of the situation. He also knows he has a deadline date in January that he has to make a payment, or I told him I'd personally be out there the next morning shutting the water off. So he knows that. I'm really not mean. Well, maybe sometimes.
You're lucky you're not green. You would be the Grinch.
In the department, they call me Mean Gene, so.
No, just joking, Gene. Okay, we're okay? All right, let's continue.
Thank you.
Let's continue with 7B, and that'll be discussion, direction, and possible action, enforcement of parking meters. Mr. Kissinger?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, in past council suspended enforcement activities on red meters that are located in the downtown area. We've been meaning to bring this back. It appears that the border has opened. It also appears that the downtown area is vibrant again. There's at least my windshield estimate on that is there's plenty of cars being parked down there, and we bring it back for mayor and council's consideration for starting the enforcement. I've spoken with the chief of police. He's ready to go at any moment. And we've also had conversations with the chief to go through possibly a 30-day educational portion. However, we know that the vast majority, at least currently, it appears that the vast majority of our people utilizing these parking spots, I shouldn't say the vast majority, quite a number of people using the parking spots are employees, so that should be easily taken care of with the education and shop owners and stuff like that. So it should go smooth, and we're asking council's decision on starting the enforcement of the red meters on the parking meters in the downtown area, Mr. Mayor.
Perfect.
I've taken the liberty to give mayor and council the activity on revenues that are available to the city for this type of enforcement. This is just meter payments collected. It's not red meter fines. Unfortunately, with the transition of the courts, we're unable to get you that dollar amount, but it's in addition to this. So if you don't feed the meter, you get a ticket, you pay the ticket, and that's revenue to the city. I don't have those numbers currently, but I'm hoping to get them to you shortly.
Well, I move to reactivate the meters.
I second it.
Okay,
The enforcement of the meters.
the enforcement, the meters.
Effective
Mr. Mayor.
Immediately, like the chief said.
Okay.
Chief, could you please come to the podium? You do have the batteries for it and everything, Chief?
Yes, they're ready. They can be ready to go by Monday morning.
Wow.
So just say the word and we'll change all the batteries since these batteries last about a year more or less.
Okay.
And through COVID, we didn't have any people parking down there, so we just let them die. And there's no sense in installing new ones because until we get the go ahead from
Well, that's good, Chief. It's
Mayor
good
and
to hear
council.
that. So I guess you would work directly with Mr.
Yes, I
Kissinger
will.
for the date on that, and then
Yes.
from that, we'll go with the enforcement, with education part, which will probably be brief.
Well, Mr. Mayor, short of hearing from Mayor and Council, you would like to extend the moratorium, or for lack of a better term, on the actual enforcement on it. I would leave it up to the discretion of the Chief of Police to start evaluating the participation rate. In other words,
Okay.
how many people have red meters down there, if they're getting the message across and feeding the
Warnings, you
meters.
can give them warnings?
Right, then,
Okay.
the chief has available to him just warnings, that he can mark each car with warnings, and then gradually move up to red meters. And again, I would leave it to his discretion, after he gets the data, how many people are actually feeding the meters.
Okay.
And actually, when we go down there, I see people all the time trying to feed them, but they don't accept the money because the batteries are dead, right? So we can give them 2 weeks, we can give them 15 days or 30 days, and start citing after that, do an outreach, social media, walk to all the stores, downtown merchants and stuff like that, and
Great.
get the word around.
Good idea,
I'd like to
Chief.
do a news release on it, and the chief, we're discussing with the chief to doing a news release with our good friends from the Mexican media to make sure that our Mexican shoppers that come and visit us understand that meter enforcement will be a new part of, and they're usually our most compliant anyway.
Yes, Sarah.
Make sure the businesses know,
We'll make sure
for the
that,
employees.
that's what those parking enforcement officers will do, probably starting Monday.
And I'm
Give all businesses a flyer or something.
And I'm really sure that our good friends, great friends from Nogales International will help us with spreading the word here too.
Front page, I think.
And from what I understand, the merchants, the business people, they want the meters back on because
They want them.
they want people to shop, and
Right.
there's no spaces for the shoppers because they're being occupied by employees, the majority of the
Exactly.
meters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I got a call the other day from an unnamed merchant that was complaining because we were citing vehicles on the loading zone. And I says, well, it's a double-edged sword, because if we don't, then you complain because UPS and FedEx can't park there, but yet you want them to park there when you want them to park there. So, I mean, it's just
Yeah.
that's what the meters are for.
Yeah.
So, but yes, I'll work on that, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chief. Okay, so there was a motion and a second? Yes. Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay. C, discussion, direction, possible action of job announcement for city magistrate. Mr. Kissinger?
Mr. Mayor, as we know, we have an item on the agenda for your temporary or acting city magistrate, and we know that our magistrate has left our employment to go work up at the county. Here's a job announcement for the city manager, the city council approval, the job announcement. There's 2 blanks in here, and we want to make sure that mayor and council get to review this and weigh in on this. We're looking for 2 areas. This is the exact same job announcement we used last time. The only thing we're looking for is position open to filled or review date, whatever you all determine you would like to put in there. Do you want to keep this position open until it's filled, or would you like to say our first review date will be next council meeting. It's up to you. And then also we need some feedback on how you want to advertise your salary for your next city court judge. How would you like us to proceed with putting a salary, depending on qualifications, budgeted amount? Would you like to do some type of a range? We need that feedback and direction from mayor and council so we can proceed immediately to put this job announcement in the Nogales International, sir.
Well, Mr. Commissioner, the way I feel is that we topped it off at $108,000 with the previous judge. Before that, it was somewhere in the vicinity of 90 something to about 100,000. So we went to about 108,000. I think we can find a qualified judge in the city of Nogales that would accept 108. I don't think we should go any higher, and let's not start that the way we did it with the city manager's position.
So what I could suggest to mayor and council is that we put in the job announcement that the position is budgeted at $108,000, leaving you all the room to do, whatever you feel you need to do. But we can inform the applicant pool that the current budget for this position is 108.
Because of being an appointed position, they're going to be negotiating a contract.
Correct.
Okay? So they might come in with a higher number, whatever. And, well, it's up to them. That's what they want.
Mhm.
But the one thing I'm going to tell you that we had a very good judge.
Yeah.
One of the best judges I've seen down there with Ms. Cartwright and at $108,000, and she did a great job. And big shoes they have to fill with her not being there. So if somebody comes in and says, I want $120,000, I don't know if they're going to get it from me. I'm not going to tell you that right now, but $108,000 is reasonable for the city magistrate. And so it's up, I don't know about the members of the council, but that's how I feel. Do you have anything, Vice Mayor?
No, I feel the same. 108 would be just perfect. Mhm.
Is everyone good with 108? I mean, we'll just say 108 at consensus.
Budgeted at? Would
Right,
that be?
budgeted at 108.
This position is.
I would
budgeted at
add a max 108.
Yeah. Yeah, because it used to be, I think before Vanessa was 90 or something, yeah. 90 some
Yeah.
thousand.
She did a great job. She did a
Yes.
great job.
Best.
Like Mayor said, I think, the shoes are hard to fill, but there should be people out there that
I'm sure we can find somebody in Nogales.
should be able to find, feel comfortable with that amount.
So, Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
So I think that if we put in the job announcement and put it out there, that the position is budgeted at $108,000, that's a strong message to your candidates that the council is considering no more than $108,000. But I don't know if this council wants to say a maximum pay of $108,000 and put it out there and potentially not have a candidate apply and saying, you know what, I was thinking of 108.5. Just saying, just saying.
How about 104.5?
I just want to be real clear with you because, as you know, in the past we've gone back and forth on this a little bit.
Okay, so you want to negotiate? Let's put it from 105 to 108.
I can do that.
And then we'll
do whatever
negotiate.
Whatever your desires are.
Because
Just
if we leave
let
the
me know.
door open, they're going to come and run it down. We just max it and that's it.
Because that's what they're going to do. That's,
Yeah.
Okay.
they're going to negotiate with Mr. Massey, or if he appoints an
Yes, sir.
attorney.
Now with me, I'm going to say 108 is the max. No
Okay.
negotiation.
Yes. And I think that'd be the best.
Advertise it at
And
a maximum
advertise-
salary of 108,000.
Yeah, advertising that. And
Okay.
I bet you're going to get some candidates, or
And open until filled?
is that what you want, open till filled, or should we give a date?
I'd say open till filled with review date 30 days after we post it.
Okay.
And so this is going to be after the February meeting, but we'll get some applications by then.
Yeah.
and we'll have them available for review.
I'm sure you get applications starting tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
pretty
yeah,
sure.
definitely.
I have a question.
We will.
Is somebody right now taking over?
We have an interim. Yeah, we have a
We do.
person.
And the service agreement is on the agenda.
It's on the agenda.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
She used to work for Vanessa,
Yeah.
when Vanessa wasn't here.
Mhm.
But,
Wow.
gratis.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Very good, very good.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, so,
All right.
do you have a motion on this?
No, I think I got the direction.
You have direction?
We got the
Okay,
direction.
Perfect,
Yeah.
okay.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you very much, members of the council.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, D, discussion, direction, and possible action, location of Officer Britton Memorial Marker. Mr. Kissinger. Yes, go ahead.
Hope I can get this. So, Mr. Mayor, I know Councilman Diaz, this thing looks like it died.
A ver, Councilman.
Huh? What?
Yeah.
I'll keep it. Mr. Mayor, this is Councilman Diaz's request that we look at putting up a marker for Officer Britton. We were originally looking at putting the marker right here in the area of this off-ramp. And it would look much like the markers you'll find on interstates throughout the state. I've had a little bit of experience working with ADOT and putting up signs and markers and stuff. And with my conversation with the Southern Arizona District Engineer, Mr. Lane, he has indicated to me that ADOT will not allow any markers on any interstate in the state of Arizona, to include the marker that they're trying to put up currently in Marana and some other places where some local officers have lost their lives on the interstate. However, he was very willing to give us the opportunity to put up a marker in this area right here, which basically is in front of the hotel. The marker would face the street instead of facing traffic. So as you drive by, you would be able to see the marker. Mr. Lane is, Mr. Lane and ADOT are more comfortable putting up that type of a marker or a sign for the protection of the driving public. People want to stop and maybe memorialize it with flowers or take a picture or stuff. They're not doing it on the interstate. That's the update I have for you. We gave you a couple of examples of what this marker would look like. The size is depending. I don't think actual size is going to, or type is going to matter much, because it's not going to be facing traffic, so it's not going to look like a traffic sign. And Mr. Guerra has got some good experience now on how to present our permit design for this type of sign, and we have a couple of companies that we can use to get the sign and move it, but it would be moved from the off-ramp to this area. So I just wanted to make sure that you're aware of that's the new developments there. I can also tell you that the Chief of Police is also working with questioning ADOT and trying to see if they can do something up on the interstate. If that policy by any chance changes and they're amenable to us putting up a highway marker, we will also explore those options immediately and possibly even do both. You know, but that's kind of where we're sitting. That's my update right now.
That's
Good.
It's nice.
Yeah. So how soon can we move forward on either and or?
We can move very quickly on either, and or is what might take a little time. In other words, what I'm saying is to put it here,
Put it there?
we can get going. It's a matter of just getting the sign on paper, not in-house,
Right.
get it on paper, get it over to ADOT with a permit, and get that permit signed, and we're off to the races to get that done. It's easy to install. We saw how easy that is to install. The other one might be more difficult. There's other agencies throughout the state lobbying ADOT to allow those types of markers on the freeway. But as it stands right now, what I'm hearing is they won't let us do it. I'm not giving up hope, though, but
So what would be the consensus of council and which one? We have two, what do you guys think?
I think the vertical, yeah,
This one?
would be a lot better.
What do you guys think? This one or this one?
Mr. Kissinger, I have a question.
Yeah.
Could we do back-to-back signs? Let's say, for example, on the same.
Oh, yeah,
scope?
absolutely.
That way it can be.
Two-sided. So you can see it from the hotel, too? Absolutely.
Yeah, I see it from the ramp and from the Mariposa Road. Good idea, Chief.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Mr. Kissinger, that property belong to the city?
State.
State?
I'm applying to the state. It's state right away. I'll be putting this sign on state right away with a permit.
Okay.
How far in does, you don't know?
Whatever they let me. And this has changed, right? Because the whole configuration's changed. But Rod said, John, put it there. I'm good. Well, let's put it there. And they're not, trust me, he's not being negative. He's just following their procedure. He wants that sign up just as bad as we want that sign up.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I also like the same one Arturo mentioned, but one of the things that I would like more is for Jeremy's name to stand out rather than the memorial marker to stand out. Because as you see it, it's.
Flip those two around.
Yeah, flip
Sign.
those two
Yeah.
around so that we can actually see, the first thing we see is his name.
You're right. Make it bolder.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So we could see his name.
Did you look at doing that? Chief?
Yeah.
We'll do that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And that's not a small sign. What's the size, Chief?
36 by 48.
Ah,
So it's the same size as the one that DPS has in front of the Mercano for Sergeant Manny Tapia.
Oh,
we
okay.
can even go
That's a
bigger.
good size one.
Yeah.
Going to Rod, so I can get with you on that.
Yeah.
Will this be reflective material so that it could be seen at night? Yes?
Sir, sir. If it
Absolutely.
isn't, we'll make sure. I'm not sure because it's going to face traffic. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Lo que tú quieras, Al.
See?
Tú pide.
Okay.
That's good. One quick question. Now, remember we were talking about changing the name of Meadow Hills Park to Brinton Park?
Yes, sir.
Is that still in the works?
Yes, sir.
Muy bien,
Right.
muy bueno. Good. Thank you for that. Thank you for the update. Good news.
Matter of fact, we changed the name. It's already done.
Yeah, it's already
We just need to
Put a sign?
a sign.
Yeah, okay. Okay, on reports. Reports, A, update on Noon Street Colonias project and Colonia del Sol CDBG project, Mr. Guerra. Ahorita lo voy a encargar a Mr. Guerra, ahorita vengo. Mr. Guerra, ahí te voy a encargar con la Vice Mayor.
Okay. Good evening. Happy New Year to all of you.
You too.
I have good news for about noon, even though that we are a little bit behind schedule, but as we were expecting, we found rock. The contractor has been dealing with rock excavation, hard digging, for a certain amount of, we went over the estimated amount a little bit, not much. About, we budgeted 25,000 for rock excavation, and the contractor already charged 35,000. So it's 10,000 more than what we budgeted. Not that bad, considering the length of the road and then the hilly area. Still, we have another contingency amount for additional change orders that are coming for example, we need to install pressure reducer valve at the bottom portion of the road because the pressures will be close to 100 psi, and we need to reduce it to 60 psi. So we'll be, in addition to the project, we don't know the amount yet, but we are hoping that we'll be within the budget. So, and then the total length of the pipes installed so far, contractor has completed the construction of the water main. Are 2,750 linear feet from McNabb to Sonoita. Contractor also installed 6 fire hydrants. Originally in the plans only required 2, and keep the existing fire hydrants which are very aging fire hydrants. We decided to replace them to avoid having a water leak later on under the new paving, and then so contractor installed 4 additional fire hydrants. Is one of the change orders as well. Currently, contractor is performing pressure and chlorination testings in the water main, and contractor will provide us with as-built plans, how the water main was constructed versus the original plan. And then the city will send to ADQ a package for approval of construction. The package includes as-built plans and the pressure testings and the chlorination testings prior to switching the new services to the new homes, to the existing homes. So we need to wait. We are guessing 2-3 weeks until ADQ give us the green flag to proceed with the connection of the new services. Currently, the contractor will be busy continuing installing the new water services next to the existing and getting a little bit of time until we get the final approval from ADQ. The ADQ is the Arizona Department of Water Environmental Quality, who approve sewer and water projects like this. Contractor expected to pave this road by mid-February, but now we depend on how quickly we can get the approval from ADEQ once we get all the documents that needs to be submitted to ADEQ. Contractor told me that they will give me the information early next week, and I will have a meeting with ADA to request please expedite the approval of construction. So far, the contractor has received 2 payments for a total amount of $355,000, rounding numbers. A 3rd payment is pending, is under process for $69,000. The balance to finish is $590,000. So contractor have done more than 50% of the work, and they have not been paying over 50% yet. So that is the update for noon. I don't know if you have any questions for noon so far.
Go ahead. So you're done excavating?
Not yet, because they are currently installing the water services. Yeah.
So I know that one of the concerns we had last time we spoke about New Street was hitting Cantera. Has that been an issue, or?
Yes, it is. In some places, we were expecting hard digging in areas where certain areas, according to the soil report, and yes, we found hard digging, very hard digging. The contractor had to use a jackhammer for a while and no results, and they were few days just in the same place. But thank God they are done with the water main. That was the hardest because the main is 5 feet deep, and it's hard to go in rock. The water services are only 2 feet deep, so not that bad.
So do you see going a lot over budget with this issue, or? Not much, or?
I visited the site today, and I can see that they are maybe over 50% done with the water services. And I don't know that until getting the next payment request and then checking with the contractor how we are with that. Thank you. So for the other project, the CDBG for Colonia Camino del Sol, we have the plans ready for construction. Something that we are currently doing is the bid documents, just signing dates for the preliminary construction meeting and the bid opening and things like that, and advertise it in the newspaper. At the beginning, we have been hesitating to bid out this project for a while due to the fact that part of the water main project falls within a private property. We cannot use local or federal money in a private property. We need to, one of the items in the agenda tonight is acquiring that property. So as soon as the city own the property, we have the green flag to go ahead with the full project. Any question? No?
You
Thank
okay, Juan?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm perfect. Thank you. So, thank you.
Thank you very much, Juan. B, update report on WIPA projects. Mr. Bárcenas. Mr. Bárcenas has good news for us.
Wow.
Mr. Bárcenas.
We're moving along, so that's good news.
As long as we're moving along, yeah.
I have a brief summary of where we are and the list of projects that you approved for this loan. And I'm just going to recap a little bit on what's going on.
Thank you, Mr. Bárcenas. Thank you.
I guess we're laughing. Here, I didn't count right.
I'll give him
Yeah, I have mine. It's my mask. Here. The WIFA projects, as you know, we hire 3 different consulting companies to do the design of all the projects that were approved for these loans that you approved. The 3 companies are working on all the projects. We assign the projects and based on priorities that we set up, based on the amount of damage that the different areas they have and the number of water leaks and problems that we have in those areas. This was also to mitigate the impact to the customers, because many customers are really upset for water repairs and doing that. So attached to this little summary in the front is a list of projects by consultant. So, and the priority is set up on the left side, what priority we assign to each contractor. The idea that we work under is that the consultants were going to do all the projects at the same time, that the assigned projects that they receive, they're going to be working in all the projects, but given priority according to the priority that we gave to them. Up to date, until the end of the month of December, all the 3 companies that we hire they have completed almost all the field work that they needed to do, the survey, the soil reports, the alignment, all the details, collecting the information. That's really the hardest part for the project, collect all the information. Once they have all that information and they can start putting that in paper, what the new design is going to be. So the three companies are about the same level of completeness in the design of the projects. There are between 10 and 14% in the design process of the projects. When we assign the projects, we balance them based on the workload that they're going to have. So the three companies, they have about the same amount of workload, so they can complete the projects more or less at the same time. You can see we assigned 24 water projects and 14 wastewater projects to the different companies, and you can see that in the back in the spreadsheets that are there. The three companies that we assigned the projects and you approved the contract for them was Wilson and Company, Kimley Horn, and Rick Engineering. They are really good companies. They are kind of nationwide companies that they do this kind of work. So they're working. I'm happy to tell you that they're really moving along and doing all the efforts and constant consultation with us. We're water and sewer crews that they check with them and say, okay, we're thinking on this, what you think, and things like that. There's really good communication going on. Like I said, the progress to December 31st was about between 10 and 14% on the design process. In the three of them, they're expecting to have 30% design by the end of the month or in the middle of the next month, March. So we should have 30%. Once we have that 30%, they're going to submit that set of plans for review. We have a consulting company that's helping us manage all these projects. That's Widget Creek. They have been working with us every time that there is a question or communication between the contractors, because there are so many projects that we need to have somebody just checking constantly on them. So, and every time that they have questions, we're on the same page that they are not receiving mixed communication between the city and the staff and the consultants. So that company has been doing a really good job. And also the request for payment, they are reviewing that what they are requesting to get paid is the work that they have done. So really, that's really good control over the projects, and they're moving along well. And one of the priorities priority number one for the water project is Royal Road. As you know, that Royal Road has been a nightmare for everybody. And we had a meeting before the holidays with the consulting engineer, and they presented some ideas. We discussed it. They have some misconceptions of how the water was designed there, because we don't have really good plans there. So we corrected those. And also we added by design, when this project were developed in concept, we left over some streets that now we see that they are a problem. So we added those. It's better to add those right now and not wait until it's ready for construction and start struggling with that. So I asked them to give me a proposal and see what the change is going to be for adding those streets now instead of waiting later. That's in a nutshell what I have for you. You have any questions that I can answer?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Why do we need three consulting engineer firms?
Yeah.
Is that for?
because the number of projects that there are, if we gave that to a single company, it would take probably 3 years to
Okay, that's what.
just do the design.
Thank you.
So we needed to split the work. And once the design is done, we're going to have to go through a process like Juan mentioned, that we need to submit the plans to ADQ. They review them, they approve, and then we have to go through a long process. We had a meeting with ADQ and we told them that so many projects were coming, and probably were coming at once, everybody at the same time. So how would they react to that? And they told us that they would work with us and hopefully with the consultant engineers to start processing that. As soon as they have like 80% or 90%, they could review the project and start moving ahead, get the approval as soon as 100% is done, and start construction and bidding. Still don't know exactly when are we going to complete the project. The schedule is to finish before the summer this year, to have all the design done before the summer this year. But according to what they are reporting to me, 30% design is really a good advance. So you have really good concept of what they're proposing. And with that idea, we can see if they're on the right track. Because once they have the 30% review and approve, they can start moving really fast and producing the final plans.
Okay. And my second question is, are the three bids compatible? You know, are they charging us almost the same thing?
They were about the same range of costs. And I'm happy to say that almost every one of those came under budget that we projected the budget. They were under the budget that we have allocated. So in the one that I mentioned that we needed to add additional streets, probably it's going to be a little bit more, but I think they are going to be still under the budget that we allocated for that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So,
Go ahead.
Mr. Barcenas, I'm seeing here that there's, I think, six priority one projects. Am I correct? About 6?
Priority one.
Yeah, I'm seeing here.
3 water and 3 sewer.
Yeah.
So, I know that Royal Road comes in as the priority.
Yeah.
But what would happen if we got the approval from ADQ from other projects before? Would we start those?
Yeah. As soon as they get complete the design and approved by ADQ, we can move forward with those, right? Doesn't mean that we have to wait for anything else. We know that priority number one is Royal Road, but because this is a big project, it's the whole subdivision and the second one is Vista del Cielo. That's a long water line. So those two projects are under the same company. So, but until they get approval, nothing can be done.
So really, the order of these priority number ones is pretty much, we're in the hands of ADQ. As long as we submit them and then we get them back, that's the way we're going to start them.
Yep.
Okay.
Any other question today?
Well, I think we're okay, Mr. Barcenas.
Okay, thank you.
I told you we were going to do okay. Gracias, Mr. Barcenas. Update C, update on City Annex Building. Mr. Kissinger?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. I got to report to you that we've received the first initial submittal of floor plans by our architect on the bank building. They weren't 100% complete as to what we need to move forward. We've reached out to our architect and asked him to submit a complete set of plans with some minor tweaking that needs to happen to him. He's in the process of doing that. We're also going to move very closely here to reach out to a fire suppression company to give us a fire suppression plan so we can put a sprinkler system into the bank. That's a requirement that needs to happen. We figure that cost for those plans will be anywhere from, I don't know, what is it, Sam, 1,500 to 10,000? That seems like a big sweep there, but. Oh, okay. Another thing that the city's pending on doing is going back and researching our initial evaluation of the building. We had it appraised, and I know we have those documents somewhere, so we need to get those appraisal documents, not the purchase price, but the appraisal documents from them, and submit those and get those ready to submit to the flood control district. We're going to upfront ship over a set of plans to our flood control district and to try to get a conditional use permit as soon as possible on that, even before going out to bid. And checking with Gene, and I think I'll go up and visit the judge up at the county and make sure that the last set of plans that we received from him match what their requirements are for both of their working spaces. Alejandro is currently working on getting the electrical issue resolved. During our sewer break, we had to cut off the electricity to the bank because it didn't meet the standards of Unisource to have that, so we'll have to upgrade that, and we're in the process of trying to get that accomplished. Do you know where we're at on that, Alejandro?
We were waiting for direction from the architect to know exactly
what the use would be. Yeah.
Needs the building, because what I understand is that the upgrades inside of the building was going to be different than what the bank used to have. So Unisources, they got a request to connect. They said they need to know what do we need.
So I guess we got to send a set of the electrical plans over to Unisource to get that done, Mr. Mayor, and we'll move quickly on that. Then we need to put it out for bid, and then go through the bidding process and bring back a successful bidder to mayor and council with a budget
for the construction.
For the construction. So that's my update, and that's kind of where we're at.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody who need to know anything about it? Guess we. I don't know. Thank you very much, John.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we go to D. Update report on dog park. This is an easy one.
This is an easy one. Good evening, Mayor, Council. My update right now is the fence has been ordered. I'm waiting to get an install date from them. I think they're tired of hearing it from me right now, but we're waiting on their installation date. I think the holidays really played into all that. So once the fence is installed, we will move forward with moving water into the water lineup so we can have the fountains for the dogs and their humans. We will also prep the parking area. We're looking at solar lights for the dog park, and then additional solar lights for the walking path, which is the cart path. We're working on a grant right now to beautify that cart path, put some outdoor workout equipment, and that way people have things to do on their way up to the museum.
Perfect.
So, and we also have a sign that's ready to be donated as soon as that's up. That sign will look similar to the one that's at Karen Park on the south side. And so we're just waiting on a name on that as well, so we can get that going.
The wrought iron? Is it going to be wrought iron?
Yes.
Did you sit down and talk to Mr. Santa Cruz about the paving at the parking lot?
Not yet.
No? No. Maybe something. You've talked to him, John?
Mr. Mayor, I've talked to him. He's given me a rough outline of the idea of the parking lot that he can construct for us. It shouldn't be no problem for him. He's got plenty of experience on how to get that done.
Because what you can do on that one is when they start paving a road, they can just ask for another truck or two of asphalt.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Not just bring it specifically for the dog park, and just move the equipment there, mobilize, and then pave it, and they can do it in no time.
Perfect.
That's how they did the park, the paving on the Challenger soccer field.
Okay.
When they did it across the soccer field.
Right.
They were doing paving job on one side, and then they moved it, and then they did
Had the
parking lot
equipment
for
already
them.
there.
That came out really nice.
Okay.
That'd be great. That's good to hear. I'm glad you ordered it, finally.
We're moving forward. We're
So
just,
finally, who did you get to do the?
it's Liberty Fence Company. They're
Liberty
the ones that
Fence
came in
Company.
with the lowest bid.
Coming out of Tucson?
Yeah, and they're willing to come down. Other fence companies weren't willing to come down to Nogales.
Oh, good. Okay, bueno. Well, that's good to hear. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
All right. Number 9, what time is it? About 11 o'clock at night?
Time for overtime, Mayor. 8 o'clock, Mayor.
It feels like it. Yeah, okay.
Sure does.
Okay, we're going to orders now. This is the easy part.
Yeah.
Okay, A, consideration possible action of order 2022-01-001, an order of the council of the city of Nogales, Arizona, approving the abandonment of a subdivision plat known as Vista del Cielo Estates lots 1 through 20. Second. Hearing none.
No, I heard second, yeah.
I know, we have second, but, Councilman. Okay, discussion, is there any discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? B, consideration possible action of order 2022-01-002, an order of the council of the city of Nogales, Arizona, authorizing the transfer of budget appropriation authority in the amount of $97,479 from the Non-Departmental Operating Budget Community Against Poverty to the Water Budget Emergency Street Cutting.
So moved, Mayor.
Second discussion. Yes, go ahead.
Is this a grant or a community?
Do you want?
Mike?
No, it's not.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, this is some monies that were originally received by the city about 20
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah, long ago.
Long ago, and they've just sat in the budget and been continued and continued. And so now administration is asking, let's put it in the water department and let's get some of the street cutting issues resolved.
So there's no restrictions on that?
No.
Okay. And we can use it for any other?
Well, we're requesting a very specific use, which is the street cutting, so that's what the order is in front of you. And then this amount will be zeroed out, and then it won't be coming back. That's just a one-time use.
We spoke about this at length during the budget process, about this money, and we all agreed and decided that would be the best place to put this money.
This is the money that's going into the repair of those utility cuts that haven't been fixed and all that type of deal, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Councilman Bojorquez, this is the money when you and I were directors that was used to buy all the parking meters, remember? The poverty, that's how we bought all the parking meters for the city when there were no parking meters. This is the money, the same money, that's how long it's been around.
But we never talked about restrictions, that's why I'm asking. So.
Yeah, now no more.
Yeah, the money just stays getting old, but it doesn't get any interest.
That's right.
All right. Do we have a second?
We do have a
We
motion.
do have, okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Yes, thank you. D, consideration possible action of order 2022-01-004, an order of the council of the city of Nogales, Arizona.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
it's 03. I think you jumped one.
Did I jump one?
Yeah.
See, I'm in a hurry.
That's why she's vice mayor.
Yes, that's it. I'm glad you caught it. All right. You know what I did? I circled it first. Okay, consideration 003. Thank you for the correction. An order of the council of the city of Nogales, Arizona, approving an employment agreement with Deidre, can you say that last name? Eshelman, as interim presiding magistrate of the city of Nogales Municipal Court.
So moved, Mayor.
Second.
Second. Okay, is there any discussion? I think we talked briefly about her. Yes. Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, D, consideration possible action of order 2022-01-004, an order of the Council of the City of Nogales, Arizona, approving the purchase of a parcel of land within the city APN 101-32-040.
So moved, Mayor.
Second.
Discussion, just for your information, this is a parcel of land that we need from Camino del Sol.
Yes.
We talked about the
The one
water.
Mr. Guerra said.
Yes, Mr. Guerra said.
Could we
Okay.
just let the public know it's 6,000 we're paying?
Yeah, $6,000,
Sorry.
yes, All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. E, consideration possible action of order 2022-01-005, an order of the Council of the City of Nogales, Arizona, adopting an amendment to the City Personnel Manual, Chapter 19.
So moved, Mayor.
Mayor, if I can be here just very briefly.
Yes.
We've got a typo, looks like it was probably a technical problem. On the last page of the proposed amendment, that's attachment there to the order. It just says starting at 8 a.m. on the day of the holiday and ending at 8. And it's supposed to be 8 a.m. the following morning.
Okay.
That somehow got cut off in the process of uploading it. So
Okay.
just to clarify.
All right, thank you. Do I have a second? Did I have a second? Was there a second? You did? You called it? Who called it?
I second.
You did?
Yeah.
She's aliviánate. Okay, all right, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? The ayes have it. F, consideration possible action of order 2022-01-006, an order of the Council of the City of Nogales, Arizona, authorizing the execution of a correction deed to Edgardo and Olivia Parra.
So moved, Mayor.
Okay, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That was actually a little upkeep on putting something corrected, for many,
Right.
many years back, so you know.
Many years from 93, he received a deed
Uh-huh.
from the city, Your Honor, or Mr. Mayor, in 93.
Uh-huh.
And the description is completely ambiguous.
Yes.
So we've now described the little section, and now we'll be able to convey the right section.
You know who the mayor was back then?
I have no idea.
I know.
Mayor Conchola, Mayor Conchola.
Signatures right
Yes,
there.
sir,
Yeah.
Mayor Conchola.
So,
That's how long it's been around, it's housekeeping.
so it is housekeeping.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
And he's had some problems as a result of the deed. So
Yes.
we're doing the right thing here.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, the ayes have it. Okay, G, consideration possible action of order 2022-01-007, an order of the Council of the City of Nogales, Arizona, authorizing the donation of surplus fire equipment, self-contained breathing apparatus to the Volunteer Fire Department of Nogales, Sonora.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. H, consideration possible action of order 2022-01-008, an order of the Council of the City of Nogales, Arizona, adopting an amendment council meeting rules of procedure.
So moved, Mayor.
Second.
Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aquí está, ese, como se la hay. Consideration possible action of order 2022-01-009, an order of the Council of Nogales, of the City of Nogales, Arizona, approving a settlement with USIBWC regarding operations and maintenance charges.
So moved, Mayor.
Discussion. We had a lengthy discussion on
Yeah.
this. Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. All right. Now we go to mayor and council's report on current events. I'll start with myself. We're gonna have to eat another sandwich. Okay, I'm going to start first for December 2021 or January for the meeting today. It's Casitas. I'm going to start with Casitas. I want to thank Vice Mayor Lopez, Robert, Judy, Ms. Travers, and her department, and our electrician Saul for the work on the Casitas. They did a great job on that. No, thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
Yes.
Did you mention Kathy and you? Because you
Well,
were
yeah.
also there.
Yes. Okay. First Lady and Mayor too. Okay. My office did certificates of participation for all those who decorated the casitas. They were all nicely decorated. The Vice Mayor will deliver them to and thank them individually on behalf of the city. On December 2nd, we decorated the Christmas tree downtown. I want to thank John, Robert, Renee, Judy, Parks and Recreation, Public Works, employees and electrician. I want to thank the Vice Mayor. Also, she worked on this, and also thank my wife, Kathy. And I only observed and supervised. On December 3rd, we held the final meeting for the Christmas parade with all departments. On December 4th, participated in the Christmas parade. A big thank you to all our city staff. They all did an amazing job making sure the parade ran smooth. They worked from early morning hours that day to late at night. Congratulations on another successful event for our city residents. And also I want to thank Mr. Thompson for being our MC this year. And you did a great job, Mr. Thompson. Did a great job. And on December 10th, the Kiwanis Club had their annual children's Christmas party. My office participated with toy donations. December 17th, I had a meeting with Michelle Hawkes from the Autism Awareness Program to discuss upcoming projects and events and other related issues from the program. Same day, did an interview with the Arizona Republic about a Christmas story from the 1900s, also history of Nogales and Christmas. Did you guys know that in 1926, when they did our city charter that year, merchants from Nogales and people from Nogales, they had a Christmas tree, and they invited 3,000 children from Nogales, Sonora. And they came across, and they gave them clothing, food, and toys and everything. The same year that the city adopted the city charter.
Wow.
Ayer, fíjate, estábamos chiquitos todos nosotros.
Oh, yeah.
¿Tú te acuerdas? Tenías pelo tú en ese tiempo, ¿verdad? Tenías poquito pelo. ¿Verdad, John?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And December 18th, I attended the FOP Installation of Officers dinner. Chief Bermudez was also in attendance with me. Congratulations to all those elected this year. Very nice event. December 19th, attended the VFW meeting with the veterans, and we had a Christmas potluck. Same day, late evening went to address some issues of concerns on the Bowman residents. That's something that later I need to discuss with the city manager. Same day, late night, we had a pretty serious incident at the apartments, and I want to thank the police department on this one. And Sheriff's Department, Border Patrol, State Troopers, and Fire Department for the quick response and excellent work on a manhunt that resulted in the arrest of 5 men who had endangered our residents. Well job. Chief, thank you very much. You guys did a great job. Chief, you guys did it too. You showed up with a ladder so our guys could go up there. Guys in blue. Great job. December 20th, delivered giveaways and candies to the fire department for the Christmas toy drive. December 21st, I attended an employee potluck Christmas posada and going away party for the city magistrate Vanessa Cartwright. I even cooked tostadas for the event.
Oh, dear.
Salieron buenas, Chief. Yeah, es todo. Son mentiras, ni te las comiste.
We weren't real short, so we're asking him to do it again so we can.
To double check on the tostadas. They were good beans, eh? ¿Verdad, Leti? They were good beans? Yeah, okay.
We need to try them again to make sure that they were.
Okay, good. We'll try them again. All right. Same day, I had a meeting with Edgardo Munoz and Melissa Gallego to help plan a future event for the community. I will bring more information to you in the near future. December 28th, did an interview with Diario de Sonora on the improvements of the economy and future economic development, also on the closure of Sula's restaurant. I just want to say that was a great interview in the Sula's restaurant because it's good to know that the business that had been there 37 years and Mrs. Papachoris decided to retire after all these years. I want to congratulate the family and the job they've done. And the information I found out during that interview about people from Hermosillo asking the reporters from Nogales, Sonora, that they were sad to see the restaurant close because they would come and shop in Nogales and then also stop and eat there for all those years.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the Hermosillo, so they made an impact from the state of Arizona and state of Sonora in both cities. So I want to thank the Papachoris family and it's very well deserved, that the retirement that Mrs. Papachoris will have. Que descanse a gusto after all these years. That's my report. Yes, Mayor?
Okay, we are working towards the 2022 calendar events. This year, we're going to be working together, the county, the city, and the consulado. All the events, we want the dates so that we coordinate dates because we're going to be working together. The city, of course, is the Fiestas de Mayo, the Fiestas Patrias, El Día de los Muertos, Casitas Navideñas, and we have 2 or 3 other things in mind. And of course, they do have a lot of other events, but we want to make sure the dates coordinate so we don't have to be fighting for the same event the same day. I also attended an invitation at the Consulado Americano. We welcomed the ambassador from the United States in Mexico. It was very, very interesting. He talked about tourism, the border, and all the issues regarding the border town. It is indeed, they are really interesting in our community and all through Arizona, and they know that Mexicans are very important to be here in the United States. It's not only Nogales, it's Tucson, it's everywhere. They want the Mexican people to be here. So they're really working a lot with the ambassador and all the people, the consulados and everyone involved in border. That's all.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Councilman Diaz.
Okay, I also attended the meet and greet for Ambassador Ken Salazar in Nogales, Sonora. It was very interesting. He's quite a character. He keeps you on your toes. He's always asking questions of everybody, and they were very good questions. There was very few people. It was a very special meeting because he was going to do 100 visits to 100 different towns and before the end of the year. So it was going to be a 2.5 hours, no? And it turned into like 3.5 hour deal there. And there was some real good ribeye tacos, and there was beer, and there was wine and tequila and all that good stuff that comes along with these events. So it was very interesting and informative, and it shows that Washington, D.C. is watching and listening to our needs. So that was good. I attended the Christmas parade, walked it with all my colleagues here. We walked and made it, so we're still here, so that was good.
Come on.
I also, as you saw earlier today, the presentation of the Voice of Democracy and Patriots Pen, I was one of the judges for judging for the District 7 BFW, and we had our winners. Now our next awards will be the EMT, Firefighter, and Policeman of the Year awards, which I will bring you an update next month. We should have our winners mid-January, so I'll bring an update on who won the awards for EMT, fire, and police here locally, and hopefully, I know one of the guys is making it to district, and hopefully he'll go to state and then national. So I'll keep you guys updated on that, and that's all I got for right now. Thank you.
Councilman.
Thank you. I also attended the Christmas parade. It was great job, everybody in organizing. I rode with the chief, got a bad ankle, couldn't walk. But it was a cold night. I think everybody enjoyed it and had a great time. I attended a meeting for Little League, and we're on for the next regional. Hopefully, we're waiting for national to let us know if it's going to be a go or what's going to happen, but we have it for another 3 years. That's confirmed, and I think that brings a good event to Nogales, and that's what I got.
Thank you. Councilman?
I also attended the Christmas parade, was able to walk it, so I guess I'm still in good condition. My daughter was my bodyguard that one night. I've been working with the county on several issues, as the mayor mentioned earlier, with the land swap, the parks and all that, and I'm also talking with them, making the working together with some of the issues we have in the flood district. There's one big issue out by wash we have out in Mariposa, and which I do want to address. And so I'm constantly, I've been talking to him in December, and hopefully we can come to some agreement. Also, I've been talking to some of the business owners on Terrace, just getting a feel of what I want to do as far as closing down Terrace, making it a tourist attraction. So most of them have a positive. I've had positive feedback because they were misinformed, but I'm working on that as we speak also. So I got those things going, and I worked on them this past month. So that's what my month was of December.
Thank you very much. Councilman?
Yeah, I also attended the Christmas parade, and it was great to see so many people out there. It's been a long time since we've seen so many people out on the street, and everything. I want to thank everybody on the committee for the work they did, excellent work. And I want to thank Mr. Kissinger. I went down Grand Avenue, and I noticed that they put up about 8 lights on that stretch that we talked about from Tractor Supply all the way down to Frank Reed, and I noticed they put up the lights. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you. Councilman?
Okay, well, I think everybody pretty much mentioned we all participated in the Christmas parade, which is really nice to see the community out there. It was a community effort and also an employee effort, so it was really nice. And that's about it.
All right, thank
Mayor, let me mention one thing that I missed.
Yeah.
We did, me and Ms. Montiel, the fire department, the union gave out a bunch of gifts at the second floor of the old fireplace up, and there was a bunch of little kids getting free gifts. I think that was a very nice gesture of the fire union and doing that for the kids. And they had no limit of who could come and who could go pick up a free Christmas gift for the kids. So I think that was a great gesture from our fire department.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, future agenda items? Go ahead.
Mr. Kissinger, I'm still waiting for the lighting of the Welcome to Nogales sign. Every time I go by, I see nothing. It's completely dark.
It's because you're going at night.
Of course.
Oh, just ran over.
Most of us go by at night.
We'll work on that.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Go ahead.
Yeah, just for clarification on the discussion items, want to seek discussion and possible action and review of the finance consultant's continued contract.
Okay. All right, perfect. Anybody else?
I did want to mention that if you recall, Proposition 411 was passed, which allows an individual council member to an item on the agenda. And I know Michael did send an email to me saying that it was a little rushed and you had to do some research, and that's why you didn't put on the agenda. So, yeah, I just wanted to just remind you that, 411 does give us that individual right. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay.
Just maybe for next month. A few weeks ago, I noticed a police officer had an emergency, and it was off Mariposa and Grand Avenue, and the officer had to go around, and when he was crossing the intersection, two cars missed on both sides, missed the patrol car. They didn't stop. And I've seen that various times when officers have to cross on red lights and stuff like that. So I did a little research on a system called Opticon. The City of Tucson has it, and I'll get some more info. But it's definitely something I want to look into, just to protect our police officers. I know that we're not that big of a city, but there are intersections that sometimes they have to go around. And the one day I saw him, there's two cars, that just one in the back and one in the front, and they didn't stop. And he had the lights on, and for some reason they decided not to stop, and they could have easily hit him, maybe within inches. So maybe we can see into that, see what we can do.
Yes, Paul.
It's been a long night, so I did forget to put an agenda item for the future. And I'd like to have a discussion on, I know it's a political year coming up, and I'd like to put on the agenda to talk a little bit about, or a lot about, the procedures and as per the charter on the elections, and which also involves present people that are running for either mayor or council members, and exactly what the procedures are in terms of that. Okay?
Just like a report or a...
Yeah, a report, because, just if you want it more detailed, because I could explain it a little bit more in detail. So basically, if people presently that are on the council running for city office, what are some of the protocols as per the charter, and if somebody is running, when is the date, the timeline to resign, and so forth.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mayor, I can say that last year at the elections, maybe a little bit more, there was a charter amendment that basically said elections are going to be conducted pursuant to state law. So I know that the councilwoman is mentioning the charter, but I think it's probably going to be more of a state law presentation.
Statute, state law? Okay, great. Yeah, I trust your knowledge. Thank you.
Yes, Mayor.
Okay, anybody else?
Yes, Mayor, before you resign, Sorry. Yeah, not yet. No, that's me. Before I resign, Mr. Mayor, I just want to remind everybody that we have the Buffaloes holders on the 29th. That's a Saturday. And so you can mark it down on your calendars, and I'll send out reminders for it. And then also, we're anticipating having a housing meeting next Wednesday, just so you can mark it down on your calendars and make sure that you're... What time do we have the housing? 3 p.m. 3.
3? Okay. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Okay.